Hi, I'm Lance Lambert. Thanks for tuning in to the Vintage Vehicle Show. We are in Everett, Washington at the Cruisin' for a Bruisin' car show. This is put on by the Rooks Car Club. It is a fundraiser for the Jet City Rollergirls. This is a roller derby league. Lots of great women in this league, lots of great teams in the league. You're going to meet some of these women, meet some of the car owners. You're going to have a great time. So do what I tell you to do every week. Just kick back, relax, and enjoy the show. Tony Diablo, cool car show. A lot of people talking about their traditional rides, but this really does look like cars looked like when I was in high school. 46 Ford Coupe, very cool. How did this come about?
Before I was riding a motorcycle and needed something a little more stable with the drivers around here, so we had a family friend that had it sit in his garage for a while, and we ended up making a deal with him. A couple months later, he passed away. So we've driven it by his mom's house and shown her, and she's pretty proud of it also.
What was your inspiration for the primer and the Appleton spotlights and everything else you've done to it?
A lot of it was budget. You know, that's where we're at with that. I like the look. I mean, it's a hot rod I can drive. You know, I can take it to rod runs and have it next to a vendor booth and not worry about it getting scratched up or whatever. I can go out and have a good time.
When you go to what is, say, a car show that there are full customs, stocks, just you kind of your more traditional car show, not this kind of traditional stuff that looks just like they did back in the 50s, but more of a modern day car show. What kind of reception do you get from the other people in the car show?
Good. A lot of the old timers have fun with it. You know, under the hood, it's got a flat head. The old timers like to see that kind of thing. You know, I'm just out here having a good time where it should be. You know,
Mexican blanket upholstery.
Absolutely. Straight from Mexico.
If you had unlimited funds to put into this car, would you really keep the whole traditional hot rod thing going, or would you have a $20,000 paint job on it and a Chev 350 in it and a set of 20-inch wheels? Where would you go with it?
You know, I'd probably keep it as traditional as I could. I'm actually thinking about doing airbags in the back now just to give it a different kind of stance. Paint job, definitely maybe something metal flake and scallops. Still sticking with tradition though. Steel wheels.
If somebody is new to the hobby, somebody's out there watching and wants to get into the hobby, what's your advice?
Don't be ashamed of four doors. A lot of people frown on them. They can be cool. You know, just if you got a good idea, go with it. You know, if you're having a good time, go with it. If you're trying to fit in, you know, that could get expensive. If you want to have a good time, do what you want.
Good advice. Tony, thank you very much for being on the Vintage Vehicle Show, and keep up the good work. Miss Kitty Baby, you have the most interesting name that I have run across here today. What's that name about?
I had a work name. I work at sea, and on my boat I was named Kitty because I was one of the only female deckhands. And an engineer named me Kitty Baby one day. And it transferred over into my burlesque career as my stage name. It's also my pinup name, Miss Kitty Baby.
So we have burlesque and pinup here. How does one find themselves from working on a boat to then going into burlesque and pinup work?
Well, I've always had a lot of dualities. I am also a former military, so I have a very masculine side of things that I need to accomplish, but I like to exploit my femininity as well. And there's a lot of really wonderful activities in the vintage-inspired world that exploit the femininity, and it's a lot of fun.
And something that you are doing here at the Cruisin' for a Bruisin' car show today is very cool. It's one of the reasons I wanted to speak with you is you are selling pinups, photographs of yourself and some of the other women that are in the industry, and all the proceeds from those sales go to?
Our organization is called Pinup Angels. What we do is sell our pinup prints to raise money for care packages to send to our troops. When the money is raised, we take the funds, we go purchase the items for the care packages ourselves, we box them up, we include some pinup prints in them when we send them to troops that have been steered our direction in need of a little assistance. And that's what Pinup Angels does.
And pinups, if I had to name the top 20 things that were cool about America, one of them would be the bomber art on bombers during World War II, where it was a lot of them had your traditional pinup. Is that how you ended up doing this whole military thing? Is there any tie-in there, or just a respect for what the troops are doing?
Being a former Marine, I have always been very closely tied into Veterans Affairs and troop support. I try to get my community really involved in supporting troops, sending care packages, sending some morale, and this is just my latest project in doing that.
Ex-Marine, so I could be dead by the end of this interview if you chose to.
Former Marine.
You just knock them dead with charm now, right?
Absolutely.
Kitty baby, thank you very much for being on the Vintage Vehicle Show. It's been a pleasure.
You're welcome. Thank you.